That looks like Pacific Beach. Beautiful place, a beautiful morning. Welcome back to Good Morning San Diego. There's a new way, did you know about this? To buy real estate through crowd investing. Here to tell us all about that is the expert in crowdfunding, Alon Goren, the co-founder of Crowd Invest Summit. Nice to have you here, Alon. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we know about crowd investing and your Crowd Invest Summit. We'll talk about that in just a second, but crowd investing in real estate, how do you do that?
Well, it's very similar to crowdfunding for startups and for small companies. You can now invest as little as $500 at a time in deals on sites like Small Change or invest alongside, the professional commercial real estate investors with like Origin Investments. So it's very, very cool. Now anybody gets access.
I'm sorry, but I just don't understand how that works. So you invest on these sites as little as $500 or $1,000, but you may want to put a little more. And how does that work? You get ownership of that, and you get how do you get money back on that? How do you make profit?
Yeah, it's actually the same as being a real estate investor that invests $100,000 or $500,000 at a time. Every quarter, sometimes every month. Sometimes annually, you'll earn a percentage return, and it depends on the structure of the deal, but you get a percentage return every certain amount of time, and then when the deal is done or when it gets sold, you earn your principal back plus interest or plus profits.
What are the risks here?
The risks are just like investing in anything. You could lose your shirt if you don't do it right. So you want to know who you're investing with, which is why it's important to know who the principals are in the deal, so who the guys who are really running the deal are, do the research on them. But what's great now is that you can invest alongside some of the most reputable names in the space.
So like a Berkshire Hathaway, for example, may want to invest in some real estate and open it up to smaller investors?
Yeah, so there's this beautiful thing now called the internet where everyone can get access to everything. Yeah. And what's cool is you get the access to the information, but now you can actually get access to the deal because they've streamlined the process so well using technology that they can now take in $5,000 or $10,000 investments, and it's worth it for the firms. Before, they'd have to take you out to lunch, take you out to dinner, meet with you, spend so much time that it wasn't worth their time. It was easier for them to go and get a $100,000 investor. But now they can get $10,000 investors, and it can happen instantly online.
Connecting money and projects, I think, is what you do with the Crowd Invest Summit. Tell me about that and what the Invest Summit is all about. Yeah,
so Crowd Invest Summit is the world's largest crowdfunding event. We bring keynote speakers who are experts in their field, like Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank last year, and some of the best investors in the world. And we have them teach the general public what they do and how they do it in hopes that we can all learn from them and then apply their trade or their secrets for ourselves.
So crowdfunding has actually democratized investing, which is really interesting for the little guy who wants to play but can't play with the big cash.
Absolutely, not just for the every person who wants to invest but can't because they don't have a $100,000 minimum investment, but also for the young up-and-coming maybe real estate developers or startups, where if you lived in Atlanta, you might not have had the access to the Silicon Valley investors. Now, who cares? You don't need them. You have your neighbors, your friends, your family, and everyone across the country or around the world that can invest.
Cool. So you have another Invest Summit coming up. Tell me when and where.
It's September 6th and 7th at the Los Angeles Convention Center. We're a bit early, but we're soon going to be announcing the keynote, and we're also pretty soon going to get rid of the early bird pricing. So we actually did a special for Good Morning San Diego listeners. If you use GMSD as a promo code, we'll give you 50% off the early bird ticket price. So
that's such a good deal.
Yeah.
Thanks for thinking of us.
Of course.
All right, Alon Goren, thanks so much. Crowd Invest Summit. There you go. All right, speaking of business, it's Family Business Thursday. And in the